If you are not visible in the answer from ChatGPT, your company doesn't exist for a user.
Do LLMs get bored? How do they consume this information?
60% of Gen Z and millennials use AI search tools regularly.
And this is all changing.
People love LLMs. The conversion rate from users from LLMs to a paying customer was 46%. So trust is one of the most important things for LLMs.
AIs will be trying to evaluate how much a brand is trusted.
Google's share of general information searches fell from 73% in February 2025 to 66% in August 2025.
That's huge. That's billions of dollars. Hello and welcome. Today I'm delighted to have Vlad Pivnev with us on Confidentially Yours. The first thing I'd like to do, Vlad, is to find out a bit about my guests and find out how they got to where they are. So I believe that you're a co-founder of Icoda. Maybe you could tell us a bit about what that is and how you got to where you are. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. So firstly, thank you for the invitation. I'm Vlad Pivnev. I'm CEO of Icoda, an agency helping Web3 and IT brands to grow since 2017. And as well, for now, we help brands to be visible in different LLM systems like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. Just to understand, our clients we work with, Ton, Telegram, top cryptocurrency exchanges like Bybit, DeFi protocols, major aggregators like 1inch, and dozens of others. So, this is what we do since 2017, and this is how we help different brands to grow.
And how did you get into that? Did you come straight out of university or school into Icoda, or what was the? How was your journey there?
It was the first year of the university. I was too young and too green, and I've decided to make a business to sell something.
Right.
I've decided to sell perfume. And I've built a simple landing page to leave some, items and so on. And then the next step was, okay, I've created a landing page, a website, but what's next? The next, you need to do some marketing to sell. So that's why I needed to dive into the details of marketing. Since the first year of the university, I would say I was involved in any marketing stuff, and it was 2009. So that's why almost 16 years already I'm in marketing. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, and can I get some nice perfume from you, or have you finished with the perfume for now?
So it was, it's difficult to say that it was, a business or something like this, because it existed, maybe 3 months.
But you've gone full onto the marketing. So when you say it's an agency, you say it's a marketing agency specifically.
Yes, yes, exactly.
You said lots of things there that we're going to need to sort of unpick a bit. You talked about DeFi. You talked about aggregators, and I think we're going to need to unpick that as we kind of go through, because if you're not coming from this world, some of those things may be words or concepts that you don't understand. I certainly don't pretend to be an expert in all of them. So one of the things I absolutely want to understand is how some of those things fit together, and where you come in, and how the agency itself can help do things. So let's start, I guess, with explaining what DeFi is, and maybe a bit about aggregators as well, just so we've got a starting point, because I think people probably know what a currency exchange is, cryptocurrency exchange. Well, maybe they don't. Let's start with that. Let's start with a cryptocurrency exchange. We'll assume that people know what Ethereum or Bitcoin is, but what's a cryptocurrency exchange, and why might they need you?
So actually, Let me try to gather my answer for all of them, for DeFi, for
Oh, okay,
cryptocurrency
brilliant.
exchanges. So,
Mm.
if you're talking about cryptocurrency exchanges, usually they're looking for trading volume. If you're talking about DeFi protocols, usually they're looking for TVL. If you're talking about aggregators,
Okay, so
usually they're looking.
you need to stop there. What's DeFi and what is TBL? Go all the way, right? Every
Okay,
little
okay.
step. So
In the simple terms, every crypto business, they're looking for users, who can pay, who can use their protocol, and so on.
like any
So
business, yeah, sure.
for crypto exchanges, usually these are traders, let's say. For DeFi protocols, they are, I would say, users of their protocol. For aggregators as well, users of the protocol. And if you look at the cryptocurrency exchanges, and if you look at users from their point of view, they calculate it based on the trading volume. So it means that you can invite 1K users, but if the trading volume is too low, it does not make sense. So that's why they're looking
Sure.
for users with big trading volume. The same for DeFi protocols. So DeFi protocols are looking for users who can deposit, I would say, a lot of money to their protocol. So, or I don't know, to increase their TVL, I mean the total value locked in their protocol. So, and aggregators,
Lovely.
so we can calculate it based on the users who use this protocol exactly. So that's why, in a nutshell, we help them to grow through different marketing strategies. So, but usually we focus on performance side. I mean that we increase trading volume, we increase TVL, total value locked, we increase amount of users who use the platform. Yeah. And we do it through, like in our company, in our agency, we have an approach. So it does not make sense what you use in your marketing strategy. It makes sense only the result you receive. So it means that it could be, I don't know, a paid traffic. It could be influencers. It could be, I don't know, AI visibility. Anything you want, but we just care about the final result.
Okay, so and just one last thing, what is DeFi? Tell me just very quickly what DeFi is.
So good question. So actually, DeFi is decentralized finance. I would say that it's projects and crypto niche where you can use, in some terms, like traditional finance, but in a decentralized way. So everyone knows about banks. So we have the same banks,
I'm afraid we
but
do.
in a
Yep.
in a decentralized way. So that's why it's like this is what is this DeFi, I would say.
Excellent. Okay, so it's using cryptocurrencies and similar in actually doing things and building things and transactions and all that. Okay, so all part of the big lovely Web3 world where we care about decentralization and we're not trusting in these big centralized banks and other types of organizations. Is that a fair description?
I would say yes. So if you go to any bank and ask, okay, I need a credit, so you need to prepare a lot of papers and so on and so on. In DeFi, you need just to show, not to show, but you need to show your crypto. And if it's enough, so you need to deposit it and to get any other cryptocurrency here and now. You don't need to prepare any papers, any stuff, and so
Sure.
on.
You're trusting in the currency and the protocol rather than in the authorities of banks and things like that. Brilliant,
Yeah.
excellent. You talked about visibility there, and that's kind of an interesting thing, and it's something I want to kind of go a bit deeper into. So, because I've noticed that when I bring up, for instance, Google these days, right? I'll type in my query, and rather than having a list of links with maybe a bit of text underneath it, the first thing I see is something completely different, right? Which is clearly
Yeah.
some sort of AI thing, right? And I'm aware that it's, I don't always just do that. Sometimes I'll go straight to Gemini or to ChatGPT, and I'll ask the question there rather than going there. So it appears that even for old people like me, people are beginning to use uh, AI and chatbots to get answers to things. And I suspect that that's a much broader thing across the industry. First of all, am I right? And how do you see that changing?
So you know that um, there is I would say, a good example of it. So there is an online media which is called Tom's Guide, and the
Oh, yep,
editor,
I know.
the editor from this media, Ryan, he decided to use ChatGPT over the weekend and don't open Google at all. So the result of the experiment was he kept Google as a backup option and made ChatGPT search his primary search engine because it has less clutter, no ads. The answer are immediately structured for his
Yep.
task with sources and so on. And if you look at some statistics, so around more than 60% of Gen Z and millennials, they already use AI search tools regularly.
So what percentage?
More than 60%. And now we are talking about
60% already. Okay, yeah.
yes, yes. Definitely we are talking about developed countries. So,
Okay, yeah, sure.
but
But
anyway,
still,
at the same time, the Google's share of general information searches fell from 73% in February 2025 to 66% in August of 2025. So it's
that's huge. That's
yeah, it's
billions of dollars, right?
yes, its biggest 6 months decline in years, while LLM's share of general search, they tripled even. So, and um, even my 6 years old son, sometimes he can say, "Okay, Daddy, please ask ChatGPT about this, about that." He doesn't say about Google. So already, so six
Yeah.
years old son. So that's why mm, I would say it's obvious and it's clear for everyone that it's becoming more popular. And I would say that Google also clearly understand it as well. That's why we see a Google AI overviews. That's why the first paragraph of your Google results. That's why
Yeah.
they integrated. In Google there are some tables like search, images, video, news,
Yeah.
and so on. Yeah. So that's why they add one more table which is called AI mode, and it's on the first place in their list. So yeah, that's why for everyone it's clear that it's becoming more and more
But
popular. And yeah,
that means that, I mean, I've worked in companies before where you we've known that in order to get customers and to get people to see us, we need to be in the front, the first two or three answers, at least the first page. But if that's not going to work in the same way, right? So if you're a brand, this must be a huge change because the brands, I'm guessing that, well, I'm sure that these AI models are not going to have the same information and are not going to, because, people pay Google to make sure they're top of the rankings, and they pay companies to do SEO to put them at the top. And this is all changing, right? Am I right? This is all with LLMs and AIs, this changes. Yeah?
yeah, definitely yes. And the difference between ACO from Google and AI visibility or AI ACO, so it's pretty big difference because in Google you can be visible for, let's say, on the second page or in seventh line, so not on the first place, but anyway you will be visible. So if you are talking about LLMs answers, if you are not visible in the answer from, let's say, ChatGPT, I don't know, top 5 companies, okay? So it means that you, for a user, for a person, so there is no your name for the answer, It means that your company doesn't exist for a user. So, and it's completely different, especially for new generations which use LLMs a lot. So it means that if your business are not in LLM's answer, it means that in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, there is no presence of your business, digital presence, let's say, okay,
Yeah.
in for your potential customers.
So I was true story. Last night, my wife needs a new PC, and I just did a search in Google as it happens because it was up. Uh, Best mini PC UK for Windows 11, and yeah, I now you mention it, I saw that and it listed maybe 2 or 3 big companies, and I immediately went to them, and I just had to think. I scrolled down, there are a whole bunch of others, but I had to think to do it, and, they were nowhere near. There's no way they were gonna be mentioned in that AI result. So SEO, right? Search engine optimization, I believe it stands for. I'm guessing that part of what you do, what your company does, so part of what Icoda does is to help with AI SEO. Am I right? And if so, what does that look like? How does it? Yeah. What is AI SEO? How is it different? Please, this fascinating.
Okay, so let's start from the simple example. Let's say that before, when we use a Google SEO, so in a simple terms, you need to create some articles with keywords like the best PC in UK or something like this to insert it on your website, and then Google will read it, and then okay, your brand will be appeared on your website, will be appeared in the Google. Okay, it's a simple terms. With LLMs, it's a different approach for the search. It's prediction more than search, yeah? That's why you need to, and what LLM does in this case when you're looking for the best PC, they definitely will look at the Google or Bing or any search engine, definitely. They look at the some peer articles, okay? They will look at your social media. If they decide to show your brand, to show your website, they will look at your social media. Because if it's dead, so it means that it's a signal for any LLM that your brand also is dead, like if you don't
Okay.
post anything on Facebook and so on.
Yep.
That, yeah, then LLM will definitely check your reputation in the internet. And like we've had some cases when ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini, they didn't show some brands because their reputation was low. And in some cases, it was, like I couldn't expect it, but the answer from ChatGPT was, okay, I could recommend you these 3 brands and 2
Yeah.
more, but please be cautious of the negative reviews. So we see that there are a lot of negative
I've
reviews of these
seen that.
brands.
I've seen that now you
Yes.
mention it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
So that's
That's
why,
crazy.
yeah, the difference in the marketing. So it's not enough just to create articles, SEO, keywords. You need to care about your business in general. It means that you need to make an SEO, you need to make a social media, to look at your reputation, that your clients will be happy, and many other stuff. So, and I would say at the end of the day, for user, for a person, for a client, it's more valuable. So because you see the results more evaluated from the LLM side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the amount of information that makes it look relevant, which is kind of what you were doing in standard SEO, right? It's a reflection of the reputation of the brand and people's trust in the brand. So it sounds like AIs will be trying to evaluate how much a brand is trusted, and based on that, that's what they're going to be offering up. Is that a good description?
Exactly. So trust is one of the most important things for LLMs, definitely. So, but yeah. So, like you need to promote your business for now. I mean, in digital, in the internet, not just
Yep.
one source of traffic and so on. You need to care about the business in general. You need to create a post in social media. You need that your clients will be happy, that they wanted to leave reviews, positive, and many other stuff. So you need to care about your business, like in many things. But
And
at the same, let me add one thing. If
Good.
you do it, and this is what we see from different businesses, if you do it, you will get, I would say, 10 times more than if you do just one ACO, Google or something like this. Because you start to get traffic from ACO, you start to get traffic from LLMs, you start to get traffic from any media, and so on and so on. So from all these sources, you get, like your potential clients. So that's why at the end of the day, it brings you more value than if you just do one thing like ACO in Google.
Okay. This is a whole scary new world. I remember literally when the first as Alta Vista and the very first search engines came out in the mid 90s. I was doing stuff then. I'm afraid, and people saying, what skills do we need to know? And I was saying, well, we're going to need to learn to how to make intelligent searches. So how you do and or and stuff, and how wrong I was. The things that we need to do are so different. What you've just been saying is we've got all of these different GPT and Perplexity and Gemini and things, and they're all trying to evaluate brands and pieces of information. Um, but presumably they don't all use the same sources. They don't all take the same data, right? So is there can Icoda say, well, I know that if you're trying to optimize for ChatGPT, then these are the things you can concentrate on. Is it well defined enough for that? Mm.
For now, yes, we can determine it. For example, ChatGPT likes Reddit, Wikipedia, and some media as well. So, but I would say that we definitely get different answers in different LLM systems because I would say that they're trained on different data and built with different architectures and sizes. And also each LLM also optimize its model for specific tasks, and they work in different pace and so on and so on. So, but anyway, for you as a business, so anyway, any LLM will go to the public available information, its own database, and then grab the information from these sources. So that's why if you develop your business, if you do a lot of things in terms of your reputation, PR, marketing, and so on, so sooner you will get your traffic and AI visibility pretty soon, in any LLM.
Okay. And I don't know. Okay, so you probably want to have a spread across different media and sources. Okay, what does this look like, sort of from a technical point of view? What new technical requirements? I mean, when I go to a web page, right, I will look at the first paragraph or two, and if it doesn't have information, then I'll leave. Do LLMs get bored? Or is it? What are the things that they care about? Is it speed? Is it about the density of information? Is it about structure? This is they're different to me. How do they consume this information?
So, if you care about your business and digital presence, you need to do all things that everything will be okay with your website, digital presence, and so on. What does it mean? Okay. I would say that if, in a simple terms, if your website has slow downloading, so it means that it's not very comfortable for your users, okay? So that's a
Yeah.
bad sign. Or if you have 404 errors on the website, it's a bad sign as well. So that's why I would say that here, in terms of the technical part, you need to do the same like you did before, if you're talking about, I don't know, ACO for Google. But the main idea that you need to care about your potential clients, okay? If you have, I don't know, if you sell a PC in UK and a user comes to a web page, so it may be a potential buyer can potential customer have some questions, okay? And if you have a Q&A section on this page, maybe it helps them to make a decision, okay? Or if you have like great photos of PC that you can look at it in the details, okay, and understand,
Specifications and yeah,
yes,
okay.
technical specs and so on. So that's why you need to do everything that it will be comfortable for users to use your service, to buy your product, and so on. This is the general idea. But the details, yeah, you're right. You need to create a pretty good and beautiful website that with good UI UX that people like it. So you need to create a informative landing pages with information. So just do the best, I would say.
So I'm going to ask a question which may be the wrong question to ask, and if it is, please let me know. So, is this important because A, the LLM needs to be able to digest this in a way that it can get the information quickly, or B, because the LLM wants to reflect in its answers the fact that humans will be able to get this information quickly. Do you see my difference? Is it trying to reflect user experience, or is it its own experience? Or is that even a question that I should be asking? And I don't know.
Okay, so let me show you one example. Recently, we had a case with ChatGPT agent. Is a option when ChatGPT search the internet for you, you know. So and when ChatGPT agent opens some websites, and on one of the website there was a banner, and ChatGPT couldn't close it, and it showed something like, "I couldn't close it. Sorry, I leave this website and go further to another one." Okay, so that's why I would say that it should be easy to grab the information for robots, for bots, from
Yep.
LLMs, from Google, from everywhere, and for customers or for users as well. So here you need to divide it into parts. So for technical things and for, let's say, visible part. So, and to improve it in both ways.
So that you said a word there that reminded me of a very old thing. I talked about how I was involved in, in the 90s in this sort of stuff. And to be clear, this is the 1990s. This is not the 1890s, but I'm not that old. But uh, we I remember this the excitement when someone came up with this thing called robots.txt, right? Which said to search engines, here are the bits of my website that you should look at, and anything not in this you shouldn't look at. I mean, they didn't always pay attention to that. In fact, it became very clear very quickly that they often weren't paying attention to it. But is there a similar sort of thing that is relevant to these LLMs and the agents that they're using, or are they just using robots.txt?
So actually, there is a different file which is called llm.txt, and you can use it.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
but I would say that for now, you can have a website without it. It's okay. So, but it seems that in 1 year, maybe, I don't know, it will be, like must have for every website owner as well. So for now, you can use it. but I'm not sure that it brings you a lot of value. Firstly, we need to think about the brand.
Okay, and just quickly on that, is that an approve list or a deny list in
It's a proof list.
LLMs.txt? Okay, so what I'm hearing is if there's information that you are going to want to uh, people to be able to find, and which you want to allow other sources to look at to reflect that they trust you, then you really need to think very hard about putting that into your website in ways that allows LLMs to reflect that really easily, right? Have I got that right? That's the key thing we're
Yes.
talking about. Okay, but there's also things that I really don't want LLMs to look at. And I know that, so one of the things about LLMs, of course, is they're not just external things. People use LLMs internally as well, right? And so being able to restrict what things look at, um, using techniques like confidential computing, but also being able to uh, keep your your LLMs and the inference engines and the training models in a safe space so they're isolated and you can prove what they've looked at is also important. Is that something that you're involved with at all?
I couldn't say that I'm involved, but I clearly understand what you're talking about because, um, it's true that many companies are not ready to send their sensitive data to external LLM providers, or I don't know, to have them extract data directly. Um, I don't know, financial data, analytics, user information cannot always be shared safely. So that's why it's a good question what to do with it. And I know that Super Protocol as well saw some part of it. I have one good example. So why one of the reasons why people love or like LLMs because they trust them. We have a pretty good case study for exchanger where the conversion rate from users from LLMs to a paying customer was 46%, almost 50. It means that every second user from LLM will pay you money, you know.
And how
And
does that compare to the usual case, would you say? What's the standard
for
conversion
usual
rate?
case, it was around 10%, like five
So
times more.
four, 5 times bigger.
Yeah,
That's really good. Okay.
yes, exactly. And you know that um, I understand that for now people trust it, definitely.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I can't say that the business trust it as well. I mean to share their data. And I understand that, like the better data is protected, the more people trust AI, like more trust, more usage.
Yeah.
And how to do it? It's a pretty tough question, and I'm not ready to. I don't have a ready-made solution how to do it. I'm not sure that it's so easy, um, because let's say if a business knows that its documents will not be used for general training purposes, so it will be more willing to give AI access to internal, I don't know, data, instructions, dialogues, and so on. So, and I know that some companies they create a company ChatGPT, internal ChatGPT, so to use it, but not to external data. Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting because we're talking about two types of trust here. One is to trust someone or something to do something, and the other is to trust them not to do something. And it appears to me that your humans sometimes are better at trusting something to do something if they can be assured that you're not going to do the wrong thing, right? And that's privacy is really a good example of that. I'm more willing to give you information about how I've spent my money here, as long as I trust you not to misuse it or not to do something else. And so building up these trust to do and trust not to do at the same time is going to be important as we kind of move forward. Is that a fair reflection?
So yeah, actually, how it works right now. But like uh, I I have two stories about it, about the maybe censorship of AI data. You know about Chinese DeepSeek, right? So and
I can't confirm or deny. Yes, I
okay,
know. I know about DeepSeek. Yeah, yeah.
so and like the journalist from the Guardian and Newsweek, they tested the chatbot DeepSeek, and when they asked the questions such as what happened in Tiananmen Square in 1989, what are the complaints against Xi Jinping and so on. So the bot responded with answers something like, "That's beyond my competence. Let's talk about something else," and so on and so on. And the second case about DeepSeek as well. So if I'm not mistaken, it was written in the Guardian. So and sometimes the bot first gives you a fairly honest answer about protests in China and so on, but then immediately deletes it and replaces it with a natural message. So that's why, in terms of the censorship of the data, it seems that we are in the beginning, but it seems that it will be more tough to get any information in some cases. I'm not talking about like commercial requests, but more about sensitive things in many countries and so on.
So should I trust answers given me by LLM now? And do you think it's going to be easier or more difficult to trust those answers in 2 or 3 years' time, do you think?
So to answer the first question, I would say no. In May in this year, in 2025, a user asked AI overviews, AI from Google, what year it was. It was in May 2025, so like
Yep,
half year
yeah, yeah.
ago. And the system replies that it's 2024. So
Okay.
and yeah, and the story made it onto Reddit and into the media as an example how smart AI. So that's why to answer, can we trust AI answer in like 100%? No, definitely no. And I'm personally double check the information sometimes when I think that it could be not accurate. So, but in general, maybe in 95%, we can say that it's okay, it's accurate information. But at the same time, I clearly understand that in some cases it could be manipulated even now. Like Mike, what we can do as an example, and I saw this example before. I was in a marketing conference, and there is a owner of this marketing conference, and I can say that he is a public person, very like well known in the industry, but at the
Yep.
same time, we know him. One guy, he decided to change his bio before this conference and persuade LLMs that he's a champion in Slovakia of riding on pink ponies, something like this.
Okay.
So that's why I would say for now it could be manipulated. But if you're talking about big companies, so big names and so on, no. But anyway, from the business point of view, so if you want to be visible, yeah, it's possible. But you need to work on your brands, on digital marketing and other stuff. But we need to double check in many cases if you get some information, definitely.
Because I can think of at least three ways in which information could be given to me which was incorrect, right? Um, One is, we know that there's at least one LLM where the owner has has got it to give you different information about climate change, for instance, because the owner is manipulating the answers to that. So that's intentional manipulation. Then there's unintentional manipulation, which is just picking up the wrong information, right? And the third one is hallucination, where it's just making stuff up. And
Mhm.
so I hope that we're going to improve on the last one, that hallucinations go down. The first one is always going to be difficult, and I guess the second one is where folks like you can hopefully help and get the right information into the LLMs. Is that fair?
I would say yes. But we'll see, like we don't know what will be, I don't know, in 1 year, in 3 years. Nobody could imagine that, I don't know, 2 years ago, we saw some LLMs. I don't know. I remember, like 2 years ago, we are a service company, yeah, definitely, and we help with sometimes we help with texts, with images, with videos, and so on. And like I remember when 2 years ago in 2023, um, in our company we've discussed it, and we was scared because we clearly understood that AI could change some text for you, could create a, I don't know, a banner, a video, and so on. But now we are here, and
Yeah.
it's just 2 years, not 20, just 2 years. So that's why it's difficult to predict.
So
But I agree with you. Yeah.
which leads me to something else, which is you said you don't know where we're going to be in 2 to 3 years, which is entirely fair. Things are moving so quickly. What would you be saying to people in 2 to 3 years? What do they need to be preparing for? What training? What do they need to understand? How should they look at the world differently to prepare for 2 to 3 years in the world that you inhabit, and in this type of LLM centric brand and trust world with AI, SEO, and so on? What's your message to people?
So let's divide this message for people and for companies. Okay.
Okay, yep.
For people, I would say that everyone should be not just specialist in his field, but specialist in his field plus operator of LLM, you know? So, like, let's say 30 years ago, you could be a specialist in, like, accountant, okay? But now you couldn't be accountant without a computer. So you need to be accountant plus operator of PC, of computer. So I think that it will be the same for everyone. I mean, for people. So it means that in, I don't know, in 1, in 2, in 3 years, you should be a specialist in your field plus operator of any LLM. In terms of the business, I don't see any another way than rather than to push your business in the internet. I mean, to be visible in PR, in to have a good reputation, to have social media, to be mentioned, I don't know, in Reddit, on Wikipedia, everywhere. So, and I would say that now it's not too late. I would say that now it's just a start. So, and businesses which can start here and now, they will win others.
Excellent. That's really interesting. Thank you. Vlad, do you have any examples of uh, market movements which kind of suggest how whether businesses are taking this seriously? Mergers, acquisitions, anything like that?
Definitely yes. I would say that I have a fresh example. So, about Adobe, it's a pretty big IT company.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
recently they has bought SEMrush. It's a analytical tool which analyze LLM visibility as well, and the price was 1.9 billions just for like a tracking ACO and LLM tool. So I
That's not
think that
bad.
Adobe, yes, and I think that Adobe Clear understands that this part of their marketing of the internet is pretty important for businesses in the next years, because it's clear that they paid not for this they paid for the next, I don't know, next decade,
It's a future-led acquisition rather than for the present capabilities, you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. That's a really good example. Thank you very much. So I have something I like to ask my guests. Um, you've talked about deep fakes and about, well, you didn't use the word deep fake, but about how LLMs, AI, ML, whatever you want to call it, can create things, right? We have never met, to be clear. We've never met in person, and there's a possibility that you are yourself a deep fake. So what I like to do is I like to ask um, my guests a question, and to help me understand whether you're like to be a deep fake or not. And uh, it's not so much your answer to the question as how you answer the question. So I'm going to ask you a question, and please give me your answer, and I shall see whether I believe you're human or not based on that answer. So I'm sitting in a room. You can see it's a real room. It's got real things on it. I
Okay.
can pick them up and things like that. And I'm looking at a camera, and the other side of the camera, uh, there are lights. What sort of number of lights do you think are likely to be the other side of the camera?
Um, it's a good question. So, firstly, I would say, let me start with an example. Um, I think that one month ago in our company, we had a dispute. We found a video in Instagram of a beautiful black woman in a bikini, and we had a dispute. Is it AI or not? Because
Yeah.
like it looks like completely real. It wasn't a Sora. It wasn't I don't know Google VO3. So it was something different, and we didn't understand is it AI or it's like real women. So and finally we realized that it was AI, and how we could find it. So because. mm The woman was completely real, but the background behind her was a little bit messy because on the background there were some things which were not real. It means
Okay.
that for now, um, you can create um, video
Yeah, but
where
you've
it.
got a very obvious background behind me. It's a very easy background to fake. So this is why I'm asking you the
Yeah.
question. So
So that's why I can't answer am I deep fake or not, because my background is not
yeah, so
detailed,
that's why I'm asking you. How many lights do you think are the other side of my camera? Because I think that you can tell me your guess as a human, and hopefully you'll give me a human enough answer.
Okay, I think two, isn't it?
Why two? Why do you
So
think that?
because one of the so I see one in I see one light on your door. I don't know, is it
Okay.
computer? Okay, and
No, that is one of them. So I've that
yes.
is one. Okay, fine. Well done. Yes.
So and it's pretty detailed, and one up to you, so on the ceiling.
So that's behind me though. This is in front of me. But this is fine. You're giving me enough. We're having enough of a conversation that I don't think that the way we've had this discussion is likely to be AI. So I think you're probably human, Vlad. So thank you very much for convincing me. That's really good.
Thank you,
So,
Mike.
thank you very much indeed, Vlad, for coming and on a confidential of yours. I've had a really good chat, and the best thing is I've learned a whole bunch of things which I didn't know before, and that's what I enjoy so much. So, thank you very much indeed for coming on.
Thank you, Mike. You're a great host.